Guys, before we get started with this video, I would just like to say if you're enjoying my content, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and give that notification bell a big ol' smack for me. It helps the channel out a lot. But anyway, hope you guys enjoy the video.
Hello everybody, and welcome to Ask Barney episode 15. Man, we are really getting far ahead on this series. I know I've said that in previous episodes, but man, I'm actually kind of impressed with myself with how well I've kept up with this series. Anyway, if you don't know what Ask Barney is, it's pretty simple. You ask me questions, and I answer them. So if you want a chance to be featured in Ask Barney episode 16, go ahead and leave your question in the comment section below. And remember, the more creative your question is, the better chance that it will be featured. And that's exactly what happened last episode. We had quite a few good questions that were left in the comment section. So thank you guys for asking so many good questions. We got a lot to work with today. So I'm very excited to record this one. So on screen today, we are once again playing, what is it called again? Crap. Right, it's called Push Dummies Down the Sparta Hole. You basically are running around a gigantic hole with swords, killing people, or you could jump down the hole yourself, or you can, drive cars into the hole. It's actually a pretty fun game. Highly would recommend it, and it's also a classic since 2012. It's a fun game. Anyways, enough talking. Well, we're gonna talk more, but still, let's get into the first question, shall we? Is there any history behind your Roblox avatar and your YouTube icon? Well, my YouTube profile picture was based on my Roblox avatar, so my Roblox avatar came first. So then, of course, that begs the question, is there any history behind your Roblox avatar? And yes, there is. So it all started with the YouTube sweater that you see me wearing. I wanted to get some kind of YouTuber avatar going, and this was before I started making trolling videos, so my channel was not getting that much attention at all, so I wanted to maybe draw attention to myself by, wearing a YouTuber outfit so that people would be like, oh, is this guy a YouTuber? Let me go look up, his channel name, because my Roblox account and my YouTube account have the exact same username. So I got the YouTube sweater. I thought the hood would look cool, and I thought the beard would look cool, and I figured eventually I should try getting a cape for the avatar, and that's where the cape came from, because I think capes look cool. Then the tickets on my head are like my way of paying homage to old Roblox, because I was a part of the era when tickets were, around. So it's kind of my way of paying homage to that era of Roblox. And then the flamingo on my head, that's probably obvious. That is my way of showing respect to one of my inspirations, Flamingo. Because I think he is just one of the best content creators, in the Roblox sphere. So it's kind of my way of showing respect to him. And then the face is the closest I could get to having the epic face on my character. I never was able to get the actual epic face, but the face I have on, which is called the Roblox Madness face, was very close to the epic face, so I decided I would wear that one instead. And funny enough, it actually has the old Roblox logo on it for the eyes on my character, so without even intending to, I ended up making my face a way of paying homage to old Roblox too. Because, of course, Roblox ended up moving on from that logo and making the Cheez-It one that you see now. So yeah, each part of my avatar kind of does have a little story to it. But this wasn't always my main character. When I was really young, as a kid playing Roblox, before I became a relevant YouTuber, long before that, there was another avatar that I used to wear all the time, a much more simple avatar, and every time I look at it, I get nostalgic. So let's go ahead and show that avatar now. Here it is, my childhood Roblox avatar. Man, I'm getting nostalgic just by looking at it. This outfit is called the Red Steel Ranger. It was a thing that you could only get from redeeming a $40 gift card from GameStop. Yeah, so you couldn't buy it on the Roblox catalog, it came from getting a gift card. And then of course I got the chill face on. I think most of you are familiar with the chill face. I wore it before it became a meme. I wore it before it was cool to wear the chill face. And then it came with its own exclusive weapon as well, the Red Steel Ranger ray gun, which was just a meh weapon, but it of course matched perfectly with the avatar. And it's very obviously a combat style outfit, but I would even wear this in like roleplay type games like Welcome to the Town of Robloxia and stuff like that. I wore this all over the place, but then eventually at some point I retired this avatar in favor of the avatar that you see today. But I still do like to put this avatar on sometimes just to get nostalgic, you know, because I mean, it's my childhood Roblox avatar. But anyway, let's move on to the next question. Would you rather have cheese or pepperoni pizza? In my opinion, I'd rather have pepperoni. Honestly, it depends on how good the cheese is of the particular place. But honestly, probably gonna pick pepperoni more times than not. Especially if I have the option of just doing extra cheese mixed with pepperoni, because then it's like you get the best of both worlds going on there. So, yeah, pretty simple and quick answer to that one. What is your secret to staying this positive? I don't know, because I'm not positive. I'm actually very much a pessimist, according to a lot of the people that I know. But honestly, I think it's that I'm more of a realist. It's because I consider a lot of the negative consequences that can happen in situations, and I think that people just don't consider negative consequences. They're so focused on trying to be positive that they completely overlook the possibility of negative consequences. I've been told that I overthink a lot, and you know, sometimes I do, but I think it's just that a lot of times people underthink. Maybe it's not me overthinking, it's that people underthink. You know, maybe that's what's going on here, but I will say I do overthink sometimes. So yeah, no, I am not a positive person by any means. So I don't know, maybe I am kind of a pessimist, but I like to think that I'm a realist because I just, I consider the negative consequences for things. So if you're a person who's, focused on trying to stay positive all the time and you see me considering negative consequences a lot, then yeah, from your point of view, you would probably think I'm a pessimist. It depends on your point of view. From a certain point of view, I would be a pessimist, I suppose. But to a certain point of view of another, I might be more of a realist. I guess it depends on your point of view. Do you edit all your videos yourself, or do you have an editor? Oh, I edit my videos myself. I have never had an editor help me. Actually, that's not true. When I had an audio story going on this channel, which I'm about to bring another one back, so I might have an editor help me with that, I would have somebody help, put the voice lines together. But other than that, when it came to like recording my normal videos, no, I did that by myself all the time. I've said it before, I'm a pretty isolated and independent person, so I try to do most things myself. I guess you could call me a lone wolf in that regard. I try to do everything by myself, which sometimes can be a great strength, but it can also be a weakness at times. Would you try Baja Blast flavored Doritos? Just regular Baja Blast flavored Doritos? Absolutely. If, PepsiCo and Doritos came out with that, I would absolutely try it. But, funny enough, there actually was a Baja Blast related Doritos thing that came out like a year and a half ago, and I tried it, and I hated it. It was Doritos flavored with Baja Fiery Mango, and it was the actual Baja Blast. Like, it had the actual logo on it and everything. But it was supposed to be like a spicy mango mixed with the lime of Baja Blast. Now, I am not a guy who likes spicy things at all, but when one of my friends happened to have a bag, I decided to try one, and oh no, I did not like it at all. Did not like it at all. But if they came out with just like Baja Blast flavored Doritos that weren't spicy, oh yeah, I'd try it, but it'd be a little strange having Doritos that are sweet. It'd be kind of weird, because Doritos are supposed to be salty and savory and all that stuff, not sweet. But I'd still try it. I would still try it, and who knows, maybe it would be good. How many owners of these games that you make videos at have you talked to directly? Several, actually. I've talked to the owner of Washies. Just recently, I met the owner of Koala Cafe, not on video. Not long after my video came out, I actually went to Koala Cafe on my main account and actually saw him, and we said hello to each other. I have met the owner of Glace Ice Cream Parlor. I have not met the owner of Frappe yet. I have yet to do that. I believe I've been replied to on Twitter by the owner of Boba, so not in game, but I think the owner of Boba responded to me a couple times, I believe. I'm not 100% certain on that. So there's quite a few that I've had direct interactions with, but it's not like I'm friends with them. We don't talk, like, often. I've had, like, a couple interactions with each of them. Now, that's not me saying I don't like any of them. I'm just saying that, like, I've had maybe, like, a handful of interactions with each of them. So, yes, I've had direct interactions with owners of games, but not a lot of them. How did you become a good trolling YouTuber, and how was the experience? I'm good? I didn't even know that. That's news to me. So, I don't know. You're asking the wrong person, because I didn't even know I was good until now. And then the experience, can't really answer that either, because honestly, I thought I was just a stupid idiot, you know, running into games and just saying what I thought was funny. And that was about it. Like, sometimes I forget, like, just how much my videos make an impact on people. Because, you know, I was just mentioning how I went to see the owner of Koala Cafe in-game. It was actually just yesterday at the time of me recording this video, and like a bunch of people were telling me how, like, you know, my videos have helped them in so many different ways, and you know, how they love my content so much. And honestly, sometimes I forget how much of an impact my content makes, because to me, I'm just sitting down, going into games, saying stupid, unfunny jokes, you know, editing the video and uploading it. I don't really see how it affects other people. And not to mention, I try to stay as humble as possible. I really don't want to get a big head about anything, because arrogance is dangerous. Arrogance is very dangerous. So I try not to get a big head about things, but I do forget sometimes that, you know, my videos do make an impact on people out there. What do you think of Roblox renaming friends to connections? I think it's stupid. Utterly stupid. And I saw, like, you know, they made some kind of post saying, well, you know, when you make friends on Roblox, you're not always necessarily friends with those people. You just kind of, like, sometimes work together with them on projects and stuff. Or, you know, it's not always necessarily that you're friends. So that's why we changed it to connections. And it's like, okay, still, it sounds so much blander. Connections? Like, every other gaming platform calls it friends, Roblox. Like, if you're trying to be unique, that's the wrong way to do it. You're making yourself unique, but in a bad way, you know? I think of a, connection request. That is, like, the most, like, boring and gray thing. You could have made it, you know? Just keep it as friends, for goodness sake, man. That's what it was for the entirety of your existence since 2006, or maybe even before 2006. So just keep it the same. I don't know why Roblox is feeling the need to change things that have been the same about their platform since the very beginning. Coke or Pepsi? Ah, here it is. The big question. One of the biggest debates in culinary history, probably. Coke or Pepsi? I like them both. I have no issues with both. I feel like Coke has more of, like, a, you know, spice to it. Not spice like spicy, but it has, like, more flavors in it. But Pepsi, I think, is sweeter and less carbonated. So, honestly, it depends on my mood. If I want something that's a little more flavorful, I'll go with Coke. But if I want something that's a little bit sweeter, or if I'm, you know, sick of Coke, I will go for Pepsi. That's kind of what's going on right now. I've been having Coke a lot. And I'm kind of starting to kill my taste for it and want something different, so I've been switching to Pepsi now. And I always stick to the diet and zero sugars of both of them. I don't really think either one of them taste good enough for me to want real sugar in them, to actually put real calories or sugar in my system for. So I'll stick to diet and zero of both of them. So yeah, I guess I don't really have a answer for this one, because I think they're both good in their own ways. So Coke or Pepsi? I guess it just depends on my mood and, you know, which one I think is better at the time. Like, right now, I'm probably gonna tell you Pepsi, because I've kind of killed my taste for Coke, but once, you know, I've killed my taste for Pepsi, I'll probably tell you, oh, Coke is good. Coke is better. On a previous live stream, you were mentioning an audiobook on the old Discord server. Do you think a Frappe War audiobook could be worked on? Now, for those who don't know what this person's talking about, I did a live stream recently where I talked about how I'm bringing an audio story back to this channel. In fact, I talked about it on this very episode of Ask Barney. But I wasn't saying it was a story about the old Discord server. I said it was inspired by the events of what happened in my old Discord server. So it's not a story about that. It's a story that I came up with based on those events. So it's going to be a completely new and original story just based on quite frankly, the tragedy of what happened with my old Discord server. So then to answer the question of, will a story based on the Frappe War, ever come out? I don't know. I'll have to see if I can think of one. But right now, I think I'll focus on the story that I am working on right now, which is called Fallen Friendship. That is what the story is going to be called. It's going to have 2 books, probably about 20 chapters each. I am currently working on getting a voice acting team together. Probably going to get an editor. I am going to get music files together and sound effects and stuff. So I've been working on this project for a while. I actually just finished writing the first book entirely. Right now I'm just rereading it and fixing any errors in the plot or grammatical mistakes or whatever right now. But when I believe it is almost time to release the first chapter to the public, I will make a video going over that by itself. I'm not going to share all that much about the plot, but what I will tell you is that it is a medieval story. It is a story that takes place in a fictional kingdom of my own making, and it goes over the events of, a friendship and how that friendship was split apart and how it led to the downfall of that civilization. There's gonna be, some humor in there, but it's also gonna be a very emotional story. It's gonna be a very big emotional roller coaster, but trust me, there'll be comedy, because I know a lot of you guys come to this channel for, comedy and stuff, but while there will be comedy in the story, it's also gonna have its serious and emotional moments. So, don't think it's gonna be like a meme story or something, like a troll story or something. No, it's gonna be, like I said, there will be humor, absolutely, but it's gonna be a lot of emotions. A lot of emotions are gonna be running high when you read the story, especially in the second half of book 1. Wow, I said I wasn't going to share all that much, and I just shared a lot there, didn't I? Are you physically healthy? Depends on your definition of healthy. If you mean the guys with 6-pack abs and big muscles that you see in movies, yeah, no, I'm not that guy. Definitely not. I will say I am much healthier than I used to be. I used to be almost 300 pounds. Yeah, I was around 292 at one point in my life, and then I went on the keto diet the first time, and I lost a lot of weight. Then I got off the keto diet and tried to eat sensibly for a few years, and that was kind of on and off. But then I kind of let myself go in 2024, and I gained a lot of weight back. And in 2025, I went on the keto diet again in March, and I've been on it ever since, and I have lost a lot of the weight that I put back on. So I will say I am not at my lowest weight that I was. At one point, I was pretty thin. I was pretty thin. But I managed to gain a lot of weight back, and it's probably going to take me the rest of 2025 to get back down to where I was again. So I got a little bit of a belly down here, but it's shrinking every single day, and that is thanks to exercise. I go to the gym 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I stick to the keto diet. Yeah, that's kind of what I have been doing, a combination of cardio workouts and doing the keto diet. I'm not a guy who lifts weights. I'm not that strong at all, but I go really hard on the cardio machine that I go on. I go really, really hard. I burn 1,000 calories every time. That is the bare minimum that I have to do. I have to do at least 1,000 calories worth of cardio. I can go higher if I want, like if I'm really feeling good a certain day, but I try to stick to about 1,000 because that by itself is already a pretty big feat in of itself. So I do that 3 times a week, and yeah, it's been working out pretty well for me. So to answer the question, I'm definitely not at the unhealthiest of my life, but I'm not at the healthiest either. So I'm kind of in that in-between stage, if you will. But hopefully I'll be getting to my healthiest and beyond relatively soon. While you were trolling or filming a video, have you ever had a medical emergency? No, not during a video or while I was trolling, no. But in November of 2022, I actually got into a pretty serious car accident that resulted in me getting fractures in my ribs, I actually had a laceration in my liver, and my left hand got so swollen to the point where it was near impossible to use. So I went to the hospital. Luckily, I didn't need surgery. The injuries were minor enough to where they could heal on their own without the doctors needing to do anything. But they did have to put me on some, pain medication, because even though, it was only some cracks in my ribs, still hurt, because a lot of muscles were damaged in the process. So what ended up happening was, it became a lot more difficult to breathe. And of course, as you no doubt notice, I laugh a lot in my videos, and part of laughing is breathing heavily. And when I'm talking very loud like this, it requires breath, right? And even though you don't notice it, it does put strain on your muscles to just talk. It's just such a small strain that you don't notice it. But when my muscles were that weak, I felt it. I felt it just by talking. So when I was released from the hospital and I was back home again, I was not sure if I was going to be able to record videos for a while. Luckily, I had a little bit of backlog. Like, I had just recorded actually a Washies AA video, which, as some of you know, those can last like 2 or 3 videos. So I just so happened to have videos already pre-recorded. So when I was in the hospital and, just coming home, I had enough footage pre-recorded so that the uploading schedule wouldn't get interrupted. But of course, that eventually ran out because all the videos came out, and I had to make new videos. But I didn't know if I could. I didn't know if I could, because just by laughing, I might hurt my ribs. Just by talking loud enough, I might hurt my ribs. So I had to really be careful about how I did it. I actually did a test recording on a serious game that would not make me laugh to see how my ribs would react, and they reacted just fine. So I was like, okay, this worked all right. Now we're gonna see if I can do a trolling video. And I did it. I came back. I remember it very vividly. I did a video at Teethy's dentist, and I went over the situation. And I remember in the video, I had to really kind of prevent myself from laughing too hard. I remember doing that for a while until finally my ribs, got better enough to the point where I could be my old self again. Yeah, it was a scary situation, I'll tell you. Like, you don't realize what muscles we use for just basic everyday things. Like, even rubbing my hands together to wash my hands, that hurt. That even hurt because, you're still moving muscles around just to do that. Just like I said, when you're in full health, you don't realize it, but when your muscles are damaged, you feel it. You feel it. So, yeah, and those videos are still up to view, by the way. So if you look at videos from, like, late November of 2022, you might notice I'm kind of restraining myself in those videos because I was, dealing with broken ribs. So, yeah! Never had a medical emergency during a video, but I had to deal with the repercussions of a medical emergency that happened, off camera during videos. Where did you get your vocal cords from? I find them very expressive and I'd like to buy some. Well, you can't buy my vocal cords, sorry. I have not put them up for sale yet. Maybe wait and see if that ever changes though. But in terms of how my voice became so expressive, just from years and years and years of training myself. Not even realizing I was training myself, because, I've been doing YouTube for a long time. If you go back to my really old videos where I was doing commentary, you'll notice that I'm not as good, with expressing myself and, just commentary in general. But then, of course, you get to where I am today, years later, and I'm good at it. I'm good at it just from years and years and years of experience. That is where I got, my expressive voice from. And I have been told that I was just born with a good voice. That is what I have been told. Some people said I sound like a DJ. That was very strange. Somebody said I sound like somebody on the radio. That's kind of cool. So I guess maybe it's a combination of just being, blessed with a good voice. And then that good voice was trained a lot for 10 plus years. But, like I said, even though I was, born with a, quote, good voice, I wasn't always good with using that said good voice. What also helped was I would always listen to other YouTubers who were very good with expressing themselves in commentary videos. So from doing that, I think I just, unintentionally learned how to talk like a lot of them do. So I think that helped a lot, from watching my main inspirations as a kid, It helps that I think I had a natural talent for it, and then from doing it for so many years, experience. So, to sum it all up, having inspirations that also had good sounding voices, I guess just having a natural talent for it, and using that natural talent for years and years and years and years. That is kind of where it came from. So even if you think you were not born with a quote-unquote good voice, if you train yourself enough with it, I think that you could learn to use it like I do. What is the exact location of your house? Bold of you to assume I even have a house. I actually live, right in the back of Sizzleburger. I actually live in their dumpster. I just found an old microphone in there, an old computer, and a nice place to sit on top of garbage bags. And I have just been living there ever since, And people always say I should try touching grass, but, sometimes little bits of grass get into the trash bags, so hey, that works for me. What was the first place you trolled? Frappe. That was the first place I ever trolled, and it was because Green Lego Cats and Albert both made videos trolling the game, so I went there to do the same. That is where it all began for old Barney. How do you be so nice? I notice no matter how much disrespect you get, you never throw insults at them. Just constructive criticism. How'd you learn to do that without getting so offended that you just plain out roast or insult them? Well, I'm not always nice. I think that I could use some improvement on it, but I do try to be as nice as possible. Because I have seen what, other trollers do, and they are very, very mean sometimes. So I try to not be like that. And I also, am a Christian, and part of the Christian way is to be nice to people. Now, whether or not, other Christians actually are good at that, that's up to your interpretation, because I know that some people are probably going to hear that phrase and be like, oh, well, Christians are jerks. Well, okay, but we're supposed to be nice. That is the Christian way. We are also supposed to give constructive criticism. That is actually also the Christian way. We're not supposed to be so nice to the point where we just, let things slide. That, Jesus, when he was on this earth, he was nice to people, but he also was not afraid to tell people when they were wrong about things. He didn't mince words with people. He told them exactly why they were wrong and, what they got to do to fix it. He was a good guy. Absolutely. He was the greatest man who ever walked the earth, but he also was not afraid to tell you, hey, you're wrong. You're wrong and you need to fix it. So that's kind of, the Christian way. Now, some people aren't prepared to hear that they're wrong about things, so they think that, oh, you're being a jerk, you're being rude, you're being disrespectful, because, let's face it, who likes to hear that they're just wrong about something, right? Who wants to hear that? It's never a fun thing to hear. I mean, literally, when Jesus did it, he got the religious leaders of the time so angry that they nailed him to a cross and killed him. That's how angry he made them, and it's because he was telling them that they were wrong about several things. And they got so mad that they executed him, and they executed him in a brutal fashion. Anyway, I know I'm getting a little bit off topic here, but to answer the question, it's because it's the Christian way. It is literally how I'm supposed to be. If people are rude and disrespectful to me, I'm not supposed to meet it back with the same disrespect, although I do that sometimes because it is, unfortunately, a temptation that all of us, I think, deal with. When we receive an insult, all we want to do is give some kind of insult back, right? That's what we want to do. But the right thing to do is to just suck it up and either just ignore it or be constructively critical about it. Those are, I think, the two good ways to respond to it. You just got to decide in each situation which one, is more appropriate or is better for the situation. And most times I think it's just, just ignore it, don't let it bother you. But if it's a situation where maybe you feel like you got to help the person, then be constructively critical. But like I said, a lot of times people don't want to hear it. They don't want to hear that they're wrong about things, so they'll think that you're just being rude and disrespectful. Now, how you go about being constructively critical is also very, very important. This could literally be a whole video in of itself, how to be constructively critical. I may make a video on that because I think that people need to know how to do it and do it the right way without coming off insulting. But anyway, Before I get too deep into a rant here, I think I'm going to wrap up this episode of Ask Barney. We got a lot of good questions today. I want to say thank you guys very much for all the good questions we got today. So make sure to give me more of them in the comment section below. So if you want a chance to be featured in Ask Barney episode 16, go ahead and leave a creative question down in the comment section below. The more creative it is, the better chance that it will be featured. So anyway, guys, hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys in the next one. See you later, folks.